Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Heartslayers. You are here with the Heartslayers, Derrick
and Meg.
We're here today to answer all your questions about your interpersonal relationship drama, whether it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, brother, sister, father, mother, friend, or coworker, or just a stranger on the street.
Ooh. Yes.
Especially those stranger on the street problems.
Please.
We're going to sort it all out for you. We're going to make it crystal clear and hopefully guide you to a satisfactory conclusion. So, without further ado,
let's get to it.
All right, everybody, we are on the line with Darky Pumpky. Darky Pumpky, you are talking to the Heartslayers, Derrick and Meg. What's up?
Hello there, Derrick. It's an honor to meet you guys. But what the question I want to ask is, how to cope, go on and stuff. To keep it very short, last year has been very terrible for me in social. I lost contact with a friend I valued. It kind of got awkward when I confessed to her my feelings and stuff. And the things didn't turn out well later. And during autumn, she definitely ghosted me and stuff. But I've been trying to go on with it and stuff, but it has not been very possible. And also, it's also been that the fact that I'm kind of mostly of a loner, having a hard time finding friends, and I'm trying to learn from my mistakes and all that stuff. But it's always what's the best method, to go on, have a positive outlook on life.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
well, man, I'm sorry to hear that. Can I ask you some more questions about your friendship? So I'm assuming this was a person you were very close with. Was this like your best friend?
We learned each other for a year, but we quickly became good friends.
Yeah. And
so,
you found that you started developing feelings for this person?
Yes.
Did you think that, did you feel like you were picking up signs, perhaps, that they had feelings for you, too?
Yeah, some signs. It was kind of she kind of came close into me once. So, yeah, it could just be I misinterpreted the motivation, but it's also felt maybe she wants more, yeah, so it felt kind of mutual. That's what I assumed.
Okay.
So then, how did you go about telling her that you had feelings for her?
Oh, it was a reaction. I took it well. I was fine with it as long as we could have a friendship going on. But it just kind of got awkward between us.
Yeah.
Later.
Well, I'm wondering, did you take her out on a date one night, or were you guys hanging out and you just turned to her and you said, "Hey, I like you"? How did that situation pan out?
It's more like off the ladder.
Yeah, you sprang it on her one night?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
Did she have a bad reaction to that?
No, she quite appreciated my honesty, even though it didn't go smooth.
Okay. Well, I mean, so at that time when you told her and she appreciated your honesty, were things okay for a while, or was it a pretty quick change in the relationship?
It was more a quick change.
Yeah.
It was I don't know, it felt like I didn't handle the situation as well as I thought I did. I mean, I really tried to keep a good mood, oh, I'm fine, don't worry. But it was kind of obvious, I was a bit bummed.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure it was way too obvious, hey, I'm fine as long as we're friends, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I still I wouldn't mind if she hanged out with some other guy and that stuff, as long as like we're still good friends and stuff. But I was sad because it's not like the first time. It's in general. I have this problem with relationship, so it's like I always wonder what did I do wrong, because actually want to improve myself in general.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. It's one of like that part relationship was mostly like a catalyst, like what I've been going through this autumn. Like I want to, I want like patch things up. I see what can I do if it's possible to patch things up.
So you say this has happened to you in the past with other friendships as well. It's kind of a reoccurring situation.
Yeah, they don't have to be like any romantic at all. It's just like platonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I when I was younger I had some social issues and I realized what I did wrong. But in later years I mostly find out being like rejected and you know left out, and I honestly like don't have any ill intention. I'm not the guy like I can read social cues and I know what to joke and what to not joke about depending on the situation.
Well, that's good.
So
Let me ask you.
yeah,
I just want to ask you a couple more questions about this friend you had. First, how did you guys meet to begin with? Do you remember where you first came together and how that happened?
yeah, it was through a common friend we have.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Did your
yes.
friend? Did you talk to your friend about having a crush on this girl that you had met through them at all? Were they aware of the situation?
I told to him like, oh yeah, things. I think, yeah, I confessed to him about that.
What
And
did he
was
have
kind
to
of
say about it?
Before confession, he was quite supportive. Like, hope it turns well. But after, when I told like, yeah, said yeah, I got rejected and stuff. He didn't seem to mind at all. Like, yeah, that's your stuff. But like, as long as your friend, like that, I think it's good on him. He doesn't know about that. We don't talk each other anymore. That stuff. And he's also busy with his own stuff. He's trying to study.
Yeah, totally.
I don't want to. I don't want to bother him so much.
Sure,
Like,
I get that. Okay, final question I have for you. How long?
Yeah.
How long did you feel like you had feelings for this girl before you finally told her? Was it a long time?
It was during the whole autumn of last 2017.
The whole autumn?
Yes.
So
Then
what's
I
that?
got
Like
it.
3 months you were harboring these feelings before you finally let them out?
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Well-
it's more like I feel like I have a hard time letting go of stuff. I always think of the what if scenarios.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a what if I didn't confess, and what if I play my card right and stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I get
yeah.
that.
Absolutely. I feel a
Sorry,
lot of
I'm-
people do that.
Sorry, I feel like I'm rambling about stuff. I just trying to keep it, very contextualized.
Yeah,
that's
no.
okay.
That's great.
fine.
Yeah, I think, a lot of people, myself included, there will always be those situations where you liked somebody and you never acted upon it. And you always wonder, like, did they like me?
Yeah, what if?
Should I have made a move? Did I blow that? Lots of people feel that way. So, that's not uncommon. I think when it comes to these relationships, sometimes they just work and sometimes they don't. And sometimes you really have a crush on somebody and there's just no relationship there. And
Yeah.
sometimes you get into a relationship with somebody you don't really like.
No, and that's the thing. I also feel like sometimes when somebody kind of springs it on you, they tell you that they have feelings for you
Yeah.
and you don't feel the same way. It does get awkward and you don't really know how to process that or how you're supposed to act. And so it's easier to not talk anymore.
Yeah, Darky, I do think the mistake that you may have made was waiting too long to express these feelings you were having because, you guys built a friendship on a certain understanding. It was platonic. You guys were just friends. But secretly, for a couple of months, you had this thing growing inside of you and you let it build up inside of you and build up and build up and build up until finally you had to let it out. This friend of yours probably had no idea.
Right.
And,
and it could also feel like, oh, is that the only reason why you're friends with me? And
yeah, because Meg, you probably know better than I do. But I've been in Darky's situation where I was friends with the girl and I had a crush on her and I waited a long time to tell her. And when I finally did tell her, it was really awkward. And I put myself in her shoes years later. And I realized that was kind of bad of me because I was making her think that I didn't like her when I really did. And not intentionally, but when you have a crush on your friend, you don't want to make it awkward. So you kind of play up like, nah, we're just friends. But secretly, it's like, oh my God, I like her so much. And, it's like pulling the rug out from somebody. It's like the old switcheroo. They think that they were working on a friendship, but then suddenly it's like, oh, this guy likes me, And
no, I've been in a situation where I was hanging out with a friend.
Yeah.
And then we went out to dinner and then I suddenly realized, oh, he thinks this is a date. And it was me being friendly because we were friends, but he had other intentions. And so I almost felt a little betrayed because he didn't outright tell me. And I had to find out through a really awkward situation and an awkward conversation that followed.
And I bet maybe that, this whole time you were just being a friend to this guy, right?
Yeah.
But he was falling in love with you.
Yeah.
And so how do you continue to be friends with somebody when you've already, in your mind, been friends with them for so long and it led to romantic relationship? To romantic feelings. How do you change the way you act about that person?
Exactly. You don't. You stop talking.
Yeah, because and Darky, this is kind of what you're saying. I want to go back to being friends, but in her mind, she already tried doing the friendship thing, and it led to this really uncomfortable mishmash of emotions. I do think it's hard to recover from that.
It is. It really is. It is recoverable after a certain amount of time, I think.
Yeah.
If you approach the friendship and just try to act as casual as possible, I think.
Well, I think it is possible to repair the friendship once the person who had those feelings, those romantic feelings, gets rid of those feelings.
Yeah.
And they have to be real about it. They can't just say, I'm over it. I don't like you like that anymore. If they don't mean that, the other person is going to know. And in fact, I think the other person is going to inherently not trust that statement at first. You say you don't have feelings for me, but how do I know that's true? I thought you didn't have feelings for me before.
Exactly.
So, Darky, to give you some valuable information to answer your question, in the future, if this ever happens again and you're with a girl and you start to like her, don't hesitate. Just get that conversation out in the open. I think it's better to be honest about a romantic relationship early on. If you want to date somebody, let them know you want to date them.
Yeah.
Don't let them think that you just want to have this platonic friendship because that's going to ruin the chances of any romance.
And you could also, it sounds like she was friends with another friend. You could ask your friend's opinion, hey, do you think they might be interested in me? Because then it gives you a better grasp on whether or not you should pursue that person.
Yeah. And as far as repairing this friendship now, I do think it's possible, but I get the feeling that you still have feelings for this girl on some romantic level. And Darky, is that true?
That's kind of true.
Yeah, I know, man, because I've been there too. So it's this weird, it sucks, but it's this weird situation where the friendship is not going to be able to be repaired until you are okay with it not being repaired.
Yeah.
That girl is not going to want to spend time with you if she thinks that you need that companionship on some emotional level. It's only when you are completely okay with not, being with her that you guys can start to rebuild that friendship.
Exactly.
You have to try to go back to square one if you can. So, my advice to you is maybe just, I know it's hard, but try to move on.
Yeah.
And with the next girl that comes along, don't wait. If you have feelings for her. Now, I'm not saying the next girl you meet and become friends with, tell her I like you. But, just try to let it be organic. And also too, don't let your mind I'm going to curse here. Don't let your mind fuck you up.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I'm the type of guy as well who I like to think things out, and sometimes I overthink things, and I feel like, well, if I act this way, that'll lead this person to act this way, and I don't know if I want them to act this way, so maybe I should act this way, and I'm doing all these mental gymnastics for no reason, and then I'm putting myself mentally in a place as if I've had all these experiences with this person. When I haven't had these experiences with this person, I've just thought through the experiences in my own mind.
It's easy to get caught up in like your thoughts and get stuck in your head.
Yeah.
So
and
just living in the moment is kind of.
yeah, like romance and relationships. I've said this before in the past, but when I was in high school and all throughout being young and seeing a lot of people dating and being in relationships, I always thought like, it's the stupid people who seem to have the most relationships.
Yeah.
And I think that there is a level of truth to that because I think those people just don't overthink stuff. And to them, they just keep stuff very simple. Just like, I like you. You want to go do something.
Yeah.
And that reduces the pressure. Because honestly, intelligence is intimidating. Mm-hmm. Like when you meet somebody and they're very smart, you think like, oh shit.
Oh, I'm too stupid for you. Goodbye.
Yeah, like I don't want to say something wrong in front of this person because they're so smart. They might think I'm stupid.
Yeah.
A lot of times you'd rather date a dumb person because it's like, this person ain't going to judge me.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want. They're not going to think. They're not smart enough to think anything about me.
They're not going to fact check me.
I actually had more success like dating and in the world of romance when I kind of turned my brain off and tried to dumb myself down a little bit. Yeah, and that's just to say like don't overanalyze stuff. Don't try to figure things out. Just take it for what it is and don't put your own mental projections onto it because those projections may make sense to you, but the other person might not be thinking that, So I think that you need to let go of this current relationship for a while and maybe try to explore some new friendships. And when you are sure that those romantic feelings aren't there anymore, and when you're actually ready to just have a friendship, then I think you can reach out to your friend. I think there's some possibility of having that friendship again. And I don't know how long that's going to take. It really just is a matter of you and kind of
letting go.
Yeah, and just figuring some stuff out on your own. That could take a couple weeks. It could take a few days. It might take a year or two. But it just depends on the type of person you are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it, Darky. I know it's hard to hear sometimes, but don't let this one experience get you down moving forward in the future.
Plenty of better experiences.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry for rambling a bit.
No, we appreciate it.
Fine.
We appreciate the call, Darky, and good luck. All right, everybody. We are back here with an anonymous caller. Anonymous caller, you are talking to Derrick and Meg, the Heartslayers. What's up?
Hey, guys. I don't know if you guys remember me, but I sent you an email last year asking for advice on how to interact with my aunt and grandma who were visiting from Colombia. My question tonight, however, involves my beautiful girlfriend, whom I've been dating for around 2 to 3 years now. We've been close friends for even longer than that, and the relationship kind of developed naturally over time. But I'm trying to figure out how I can get her a little bit more involved with my parents, most of all, with my family. I feel like I want to build a better relationship, especially going on planning for things long term. I feel like it'd be good if they got along better. I feel like right now there's some obstacles, and again, like the language barrier, because my parents primarily speak Spanish. But also they're a little more religious than her. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can help her and them kind of get to know each other a little bit better.
So they don't speak the same language, and your parents are more religious than her. Well, let me ask you: is it an issue, the religion thing? Like, are you guys all going to church together? Is there anything that you could do that doesn't involve religion?
Yeah, I'm. Most of the time I spent with my mom is usually when we go to church every weekend, but we do things outside of church, and they're okay with her not being part of the church necessarily. But it's been difficult to find things for us to do together because my girlfriend's very shy, and my parents are also a little quiet. So I'm having difficulty finding some middle ground for them.
Oh, well, let me ask you. You go to church every week with your parents, so are you as religious as your parents are?
Not as much, really.
Yeah.
I mostly like going for the community, and also because I feel like it's quality time I can spend with my mom and my brother in particular.
Okay.
We're busy the rest of the week, so I feel like that's a good time to spend with them.
But your girlfriend, she doesn't want to go to church.
She feels she's gone to church a couple times with me. She just feels a little out of place there, and
Which
all.
is fair.
Especially because the church we go to, it's in Spanish. So when she does go, I have to like sit next to her and like translate things for her.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So she doesn't speak Spanish. Your parents don't speak English?
They speak English. It's just their second language though. So when we're at home, we primarily speak Spanish.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what I'm thinking is it seems like your girlfriend is willing to try, going to an all Spanish church when you're not religious and you only speak English.
The language.
That to me says that this girl really likes you.
Yeah.
And really wants to, spend some time with you and probably meet your family. I would suggest, have you thought about talking to your parents about wanting to do something as a group outside of church?
Yeah, I mean, I think my mom asked if maybe my girlfriend and I would like to go to bowling with the family or something like that.
Well, there you go. That sounds
like
awesome.
fun.
Yeah. What did you say to that?
I was okay with it. My girlfriend, she's a little homebody though, so she wasn't too particularly fond of bowling in particular though.
Did you guys do it, or she didn't want to? She didn't want to do that.
I think that particular week she didn't want to do it. She's a little, especially because right now she's working a little long distance. So when she is in town, her time's a little limited. So she preferred that weekend to spend it at home with her family and stuff.
How often do you guys see each other?
Right now it's once every couple months.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't think, maybe don't worry about building the relationship with your parents. If you're only seeing each other once every couple months.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm mostly asking for, because she's eventually moving back once her...
Oh, okay. Well, my suggestion
job
was going to
finishes.
be maybe try setting up like a family dinner or something.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too.
Yeah, because that's simple. Everybody eats dinner.
You know what I would do? If and when your girlfriend eventually moves close and is going to be around on a more permanent basis, have a welcome party for her. And invite your family and invite your friends and invite any friends she has. And that way it's not so much pressure of my girlfriend is meeting my family, but it's more just a big community event, and they can bump into each other, communicate, and then kind of go their separate ways and float around in the same room for a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That sounds like a good one, yeah.
All right. Well, that's our advice to you, anonymous caller. We appreciate your call. All right. Feel free to call us back. Let us know how it all works out.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Heartslayers.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. We are back here with an anonymous caller. Anonymous caller, you're talking to Derrick and Meg, the Heartslayers. What's happening?
Hi, my girlfriend of 1.5 years and I, we live about an hour and a half apart, but we make it work for the most part. Well, the last night I was down there last Saturday, she suddenly broke down saying she was deeply unhappy with us, saying all this stuff, saying I'm not mature enough. She's 23, I'm 21. She thinks that she's holding me back, that she's not good enough, criticizing me because like my future plans deeply involve her and I don't really think about myself. And admittedly, I did rely on her a lot in terms of like helping me with the application process. I just graduated last month. That's just because I look up to her. She has so much experience. But she says like she feels like I'm treating her more like a mom, not like a girlfriend. And she's just like mad that I don't have a job yet. She said the unhappiness started about 4 months ago, but she never brought it up or made it apparent to me. And I asked her to give me a chance this week to reform myself. And I really set out to do that. And I've done so much. I even have an interview scheduled for tomorrow, but all week she hasn't said a word to me, even though I keep telling her about my progress. And like we'd always at least say like good night, good morning every day, but she's not even doing that. So is this all like a lost cause?
Wow. Well, first of all, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
That sounds like
same.
she just dropped a pile on you.
Man.
Yeah, and it's my first relationship too, so I don't really like
Okay.
kind of lost all of this.
Okay.
You know, I think like just hearing what you've told me, the stuff she's telling you, it's understandable. I could see how a lot of people could fall into a relationship like that. I don't think it's a lost cause, but I do think that in this situation, this is not something where you can just tell her, "Oh, I'm different." You know, I think this is a situation where actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely. I think people get a certain idea in their head and they stick so hard with that idea until they see a change.
Yeah. And two, sadly, in especially when you haven't been together for a long time, when you're still a relatively new relationship, you want the person to be into you,
Yeah.
but you don't want them to be too into you.
Right.
You don't want them to feel like they need you in their life to be happy.
Oh, that's so much pressure.
Yeah, and it's more attractive to be with a person who loves you and wants to be around you, but they are totally fine.
They have their own life.
They have their own life. They have their own thing going on.
Okay.
So I feel like for you right now, the best thing you can do is just show her that you're going to be okay without her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you can have your own life and, you know, maybe make her think twice about the things she thought. If she thought like, oh, my boyfriend is, he depends on me too much. He's maybe a little bit codependent. This is your chance to break it off and be like, I don't need you. I can fly on my own, fly solo.
Yeah. I mean, it's just really conflicting because we were making plans on moving in. It was supposed to be like within the next month. And so for her to suddenly say like to focus on myself just seems like really odd.
Let me ask you, how long have you guys been making these plans for?
About since December.
So just a couple months.
2 months ago, 3 months ago, 2 months ago?
2 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was like concrete plans, but it's just she thought that down where she lived, I could have really good opportunity with like jobs, but now she's saying that that opportunity is like kind of closing, that like, and all that stuff, you know?
Well, you mentioned that she said it's been about 4 months since she started having some doubts about this relationship. And I'm wondering if those doubts coincided with planning on moving in together.
Yeah.
Is that kind of line up in the timeline there?
I mean, there were, okay, probably the first time that we were really starting to get serious about moving in was like late November. And it was, I did kind of foul it up by saying I needed maybe permission from my family first. And that really angered her. But like she thought I didn't want to do it, but I made it very clear later on that like that's what I did want, and I was making like strives towards that, and then suddenly she's the one that's saying that she doesn't want it now. She is saying that she's like afraid of me moving in with her,
Why?
and she did say afraid.
Why did you have to ask permission from your family?
I don't know. It was just I never moved out before. I kind of I'm also the only man in the family, so I'm used to like them really depending on me.
So you still live at home currently with your family?
Yeah.
And your girlfriend, she lives on her own?
No, she lives with her mother.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you're both still living at home. That's all right. You know, the thing is at that age, 21 to 23, there is a little bit of a difference in maturity levels.
Yeah.
I think that in 2 years, you are going to be a very different person. Once you start getting like 24, 25,
Yeah, I was gonna say around 25, like
26, 27, you start locking in your personality. But you might still have a lot more growing to do. She might be right.
And yeah, and she's saying that like it's not like she hates me or anything. She says she still really cares about me, and
Of course she
like,
does.
yeah.
she just feels like it might like at the point of lives that we're both in, maybe like we kind of have different ends, you know?
Yeah.
Like she would like to maybe see how I would do developing until that age, you know, what my life would be kind of without her for a few years or so. I don't know.
Are you guys still talking on a semi-regular basis? What's the communication like?
Well, no, I mean, like I messaged her about like all my progress. You know, I told her today, hey, I got an interview, and she just doesn't respond now.
Oh.
Well, that's also super immature of her, because I don't think that's fair.
Here's what I'm going to suggest for you. Okay. Don't contact her anymore.
Well, I was also gonna say that.
But continue with the plan as if, you know, work on all the things you need to work on, but don't keep her updated on it.
yeah, just do your thing. Work on yourself for sure.
Live the best life you can. Post how much fun you're having on social media. Show it off a little bit, okay?
Yeah, she'll be like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
Let her start wondering, like, you know, he hasn't contacted me in a while. He seems to be really happy. Let her miss you a little bit. And then, hopefully, if you play your cards right, she'll reach out to you like, hey, how you doing? Don't fall for the trap of, you know, starting to rebuild the relationship when she eventually reaches out. Make her miss you a little bit. And eventually when she reaches out to you, says, how you doing? This is what I would say to her. Tell her, I'm doing great. You know what? I thought about what you said, and I think you might be right. And I'm just really trying to spread my wings and do my own thing for a while.
Yeah.
That will make her so attracted to you. She may wait a little bit, but then she'll be like, well, yeah, hey, I'm coming up. You know, in a few weeks, you want to get together?
Yeah, or she'd be like, wait, he doesn't actually like depend on me. Like he's good on his own.
Yes, because like we said earlier, actions speak louder than words, and those are the two best actions you could
Yeah.
do. Don't update her on any of what you're working on, and make her reach out to you.
No,
And-
because you want to improve yourself for you. You don't want to do it for her.
Yes. And then when she does reach out to you, you let her know how great you're doing. You were right. I'm so much better now. And maybe she'll start thinking like, huh, okay. I see a little bit of that independent guy that I liked so much.
That's really good advice, but there's a wrench in the problem. and
Okay.
that's,
Throw it at us.
There's already plans of her coming to my graduation ceremony this Friday.
Break it off with her. Tell her not to come. That's what I would do.
I mean, do you realistically, if she's not responding to your text, do you think she is going to show up?
That's a good point.
Yeah, I would, in your mind right now, decide that she's not going to come. If she does come, I wouldn't, you know, just jump back into her arms and be like,
No.
"Oh, I'm so happy to see her." I would hold her a little bit accountable with like,
I would straight up ask her, hey, why haven't you been responding
yeah, I'd
to
be
me?
like, girl, you broke up with me and have been out of communication for like, why did you come here? And kind of put her on the spot. Like,
Yeah.
don't let her play games with your emotions, okay? If she wants to be with you, she can be with you. If she doesn't want to be with you, she will treat you the way she's treating you now. But going back and forth in the middle, like that gives her too much power, and that really just puts you in a bad spot emotionally. So maybe you don't have to tell her not to come, but I would expect her not to come. And if she
Yeah.
does show up, I would kind of treat her like, well, I was expecting you not to come, and I'm kind of wondering why you're here.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
would just straight up ask her, like, you guys need to kind of get on the same page if she does show up.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I
So-
mean?
Yeah. No, I understand.
It's super difficult and super unfair.
Yeah, because look, when somebody breaks up, it's not just like I love this person. No, I don't. I hate them.
No.
It's I love them, but I don't know. I'm worried. You know, I have fears moving forward that maybe this isn't going to get better. It's going to get worse. So when you break up with somebody, you kind of go back and forth. Like, did I make the right decision? I am
Yeah.
lonely, but do I want to get back to them? It's all these like mushy, muddy, murky feelings. So the best thing any person in that situation can do is just know what they want and be really clear about it and kind of cut through the bullshit.
Yeah.
So that's what you need to do. You can't let her kind of be murky about this. Just kind of try to keep it cut and dry.
Yeah, and I just find it totally unfair how she's putting me down as the immature one, but she's the one acting like this. But I kind of almost don't want to call her out on it because then I feel like I'm stooping to her kind of level, you know?
You don't need to accuse her
No.
of being immature, but you can treat her like she is immature. Because again, actions speak louder than words. I've said it
Exactly.
3 or 4 times in this call now. I don't think you should verbalize anything you're feeling. You should just act it and let her pick it up for herself.
Yeah, she'll see that you're kind of being the bigger person here by being more mature and
Yeah.
not calling her out.
And trust me, you can do your research. You can look it up online. The most attractive thing to a woman, Meg, I'm going to say it because
All right.
is confidence.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Isn't
Yeah,
it?
absolutely.
It's the guy who is just confident is like, oh, I want to be with that guy.
Yeah.
So being wishy-washy is not going to help you in this situation. Be firm and, make her miss you, make her want you a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for the call, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
See ya. Bye. All right, everybody. We are back with another caller here. Caller, you are on the line with the Heartslayers, Derrick and Meg. What's happening?
So I'm in a long-term relationship with my first love right now, and the relationship doesn't work for me. I'm in love with her, and I care deeply about her. So even though a lot of the time I feel unhappy, I keep continuing the relationship. I broke up with her a couple of times in the past, but I convinced myself I just needed to try harder at it and things would get better. I ended up moving in with her 2 years ago, and it seemed like things were going great at first, but eventually, after feeling taken for granted and not listened to for long enough, and not having her acknowledge those feelings, I fell into a crippling depression. I felt trapped and completely hopeless, and even had suicidal thoughts. A couple of days ago, I moved out and I told her I wasn't coming. She told me that I just needed to get perspective and that I would come back when I was ready. I've been in this relationship for so long. I feel lost now that I'm away from her. I feel like I don't have a life of my own, and I have a lot of anxiety about trying to move on. I don't want to hurt her. I think the relationship is bad for me, and I don't know how to break things off in a good way or how to recover from this and move on with my life.
Oh, man.
That's heavy.
That's heavy. How long was the relationship for?
So we met 11 years ago online when we were
Wow.
both at university. And we were long distance for a long time. We would talk every day and we would visit each other for 10 months.
Okay.
Okay.
You were long distance for 10 months?
Sorry, for 8.5 years.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
So it was only 3 years ago that you guys came together. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And was it at that point that you started feeling like the relationship wasn't working out, or was it before that, or was it good for a while?
So before that, I had already broken up with her a couple of times because the first time it was more like the way that she treated me made me feel like I wasn't making her happy. And so I told her that, and she said, no, I'm happy. So I just thought, well, I don't know. I have these feelings towards her, and it just seemed like this could be a chance at something. So I should keep trying if she says she's happy.
Did it seem to you like you weren't making her happy, or that she just wasn't happy?
I don't know how to answer that.
Was what like did you feel like you were doing things to make her upset, that you were bringing her down, or was it that you were trying to bring her up and were just unsuccessful to do it?
I don't know. Kind of just the way she treated me didn't seem like the way you should treat someone that you care about.
Yeah.
Well, let me start with it's completely possible to love somebody and fall out of love with them and still love them, but just not feel like you're in a good relationship.
Yeah, I've been in on again, off again relationships. And, it's like you break up because the relationship gets bad, but then you miss how good the relationship was. And you think, well, maybe if we give it another try, we can get back to that good point.
Right.
But it's kind of like diminishing returns every time you do it. It's like the first relationship it went super big and then it kind of crashed, and the next one went kind of big but not so much, and then you do it again and you're never quite getting as happy as you were when it was just that first time and things were really sweet.
Yeah, and the thing that really sticks out to me is you feel like the relationship isn't good for you. And that's the biggest feeling that you should follow. Realistically, like if you feel like the relationship isn't good for you, especially mentally, like having suicidal thoughts because of a relationship is bad. And that's a situation that you absolutely need to get out of.
Totally. And I will add to that I've been really hung up on relationships that didn't work out or weren't working out as they should. And what got me through it was realizing, hey, this person's not right for me. And somebody out there is right for me.
Yeah.
Somebody out there is perfect for me. They're going to love me. They're going to make me feel happy, and they're going to love the way I make them feel. And I started thinking, like, being in this bad relationship is getting in the way of me finding the relationship I'm supposed to be in.
Absolutely.
And then you feel trapped, and then you feel like you're wasting your time, and then the more it goes on, the worse it gets. And yeah, sometimes you do care so much about the person that even though they drive you fucking crazy and you want nothing more than to get the hell away from them, you still feel like, but I would feel bad to find out that they were miserable because I left them.
Exactly.
But in your situation, it seems like one person's going to be miserable no matter what. It's either going to be this girl or it's going to be you. And clearly, if you're not looking out for yourself, nobody else is.
Yeah, your own mental health is the most important thing here.
Yeah, and if she, it's unfair for your girlfriend to want to be in a relationship with you if that relationship makes you feel awful.
Right. And
that's just unfair of her. That's so selfish.
yeah, the fact that she's not treating you the way that somebody should treat like their partner is so unfair.
Yeah.
And that's like red flag number one.
And I always advocate being a little bit selfish in your relationship. First and foremost, both people in the relationship should be really happy to be in the relationship.
Yeah.
If they're not both getting a lot of positivity out of it, then the relationship is broken. If one person is happy but the other person is miserable, that's a broken relationship.
Yeah, and you would think that if she could tell that you were miserable, she'd be like, okay, something's wrong here. I need to either change the way that I'm acting or address this bad situation.
So, are you currently split up right now?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Are we what?
Are you guys together right now, or are you not seeing each other currently?
Well, I told her that I was moving out and not coming back, but she has this way of if I tell her something, she kind of turns it into her own interpretation or her own thing that she wants. So she's kind of decided that I'm just getting perspective and that I'm coming back.
Okay.
She sounds extremely manipulative.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of perspective. A lot of really good perspective. You know what I would say? Just stick to your guns. And sometimes it is a day-by-day battle. Just being okay with whatever you're struggling with. But when it comes to breakups, it does get better.
Yeah.
And you just have to remember a time before this girl when you were happy and okay being single, and just know that you're going to be able to get back to that place emotionally. And once you get back to that place emotionally, then you're going to be in a really good place. You're going to be feeling good, looking good, acting good, and that's going to lead you to finding this relationship that you're really supposed to be in.
Absolutely. And just getting out of a bad situation that's putting you in a bad mental state, it's really healthy to just leave it. And I know it's really difficult to just leave behind, especially when you say it's like your first love and first, like, especially super long-term relationship.
Yeah, 11 years is a long time. My longest relationship was 8 years.
Yeah, so it's been 10 for me. And of course, we've said it before, the first cut is the deepest. And it's really tempting to go back when you have the opportunity to.
Yeah.
But I think it's a lot healthier for you to just leave this behind.
Yes, and just know that it's going to take a while for her to get it. You're just going to have to be firm and just, you're going to have to tell her a couple times, I told you my intentions and I haven't changed. And no matter what you think or how you interpret this, I'm trying to be as clear as I can.
Yeah.
This relationship is not working.
Yeah, you can't let her manipulate you back into this relationship again.
Yeah, but the beauty of being an 11-year relationship, you have probably learned so much, so many lessons about what you don't want from a relationship that next time you're going to be able to find more of what you do want.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it takes a couple relationships to kind of really figure out what you want in a partner.
Yeah, and especially with the super long-term one, like, you see red flags immediately in new relationships.
Yeah. So, I mean, just try to reflect on the relationship and grow from it and learn what they did wrong, what you did wrong, but just be firm, and it will get better because it always gets better.
Yeah.
It's really good to hear a lot of those things you were saying. So thank you.
Absolutely. And feel free to call us back with any updates.
I definitely will do that.
All right. Thanks, anonymous caller. We'll catch you next time.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, everybody. We are back here on the phone with Jay. Jay, you are talking to Derrick and Meg, the Heartslayers. You have our full attention. What's happening?
All right, thanks everyone. Okay, so my question is kind of a, social group type thing. Basically, I'm in university and I'm in a drama program, and my problem, basically to just cut right to it, is I feel like I don't interact with anyone outside of class nearly as much as I should. And it's a real struggle for me that causes me a lot of stress because I see these people all the time, but I literally just cannot start a conversation with any of them or even, just try and get anything going. And it's really just a struggle for me that, even right after class ends, for example, I just pack my bags and go when I really just wish, I could just talk to any one of these people, but I always just end up being so paralyzed and then nothing happens. And it's just kind of causing me, it's been causing me some anxiety lately because we're nearing the end of the program. There's 1 year left after this one. And yeah, it's just that kind of anxiety. It's just been really kind of getting in my way. And I just thought maybe call up the Heartslayers.
All right. So you're in the drama program. So you're talking about other people in the drama program?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I've been in a couple drama programs myself, and I've always felt like it was usually kind of tight knit. Is that how you feel about the rest of the crew?
Oh yeah. Everyone knows each other really well, and it just kind of makes me feel, and the thing is that when we're all doing stuff, for example, I'm all jovial and we're all preparing lines, shooting off each other, we're all getting off to practice and stuff. But then it's just when the situation doesn't call for that, I just kind of am totally distant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you have friends in the program, like scene partners or people you communicate with?
Yeah. So in the program, when we do shows and stuff, we do all end up having scene partners and directors and
yeah.
And that's part of the thing that is why it's on my mind too, is that I'm hoping to be directing something pretty soon, and then that's going to be tough. I have, this problem.
Yeah. Well, okay. I guess this is what I'm getting at. Is there anybody in the class that you feel like you want to be close with, that you've had some communications with? Do you have any friends in the program while you're in the program?
Oh yeah. There are definitely people in the program that I know better than others, and I hit it off especially well with, because obviously in any group you're not gonna, not everyone is gonna be like that, but there are definitely people who I would consider myself to be, friendly with.
Okay.
Do you know anything about their like common interests, like things that you can maybe like ask them to do outside of class?
Yeah, a little bit, because we do all follow each other on Instagram and everything. Though.
Okay.
Do you feel like they like you?
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it, because I do feel like they do like me. It's like when we are backstage and stuff, people are happy to see me if we're in the same show and stuff. I just feel like I kind of buckle under the pressure of trying to interact with people outside of that context.
Well, I mean, all the pieces are there. You like them, they like you. You spend a lot of time together. You have common interests.
Your friends on Instagram.
Yeah, where do you think the breakdown is occurring?
I think the breakdown is I just don't know where to start when approaching people.
Yeah. Do you like I met Rocco and Sean doing drama.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was ever like, hey, I like you, let's be friends.
Yeah.
But and we met in high school theater, and so, people would perform scenes and the rest of the class would watch the scenes, and I would just end up sitting next to them and kind of just talking and chatting and joking about the scenes. And in that way, we just started kind of feeling like, this person's kind of cool.
Yeah, and then it turns into like, oh, do you want to like go grab some lunch together, like after class or whatever?
Yeah, and back then we would actually talk on AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say you can like shoot out some like Instagram DMs.
yeah, that's how we would communicate outside of school, would be online and socially. And so between those two things, that's where our friendship kind of got built, being in class and then communicating on the computer at home. And then over time it was like, oh, you like to play video games? Yeah. Dude, you want to come over to my house sometime?
Yeah.
I mean, we were in high school, but
Okay.
how do you feel about, so when you're in your program, do you hang out with any certain people specifically?
Yeah. There are definitely a few people that I feel like I'm on, a closer wavelength with. And, the thing is that there are times when I have, been over to people's houses or I've gone to parties with them and stuff. I just feel like I kind of have trouble following up on that and maintaining that.
Yeah.
So I guess that's sort of the thing where maybe I should just be like, hey, that thing that we did was totally fun. Want to do that again? Or want to do this? Something like that.
Yeah, like consistency is always good.
You know what? You actually, Jay, I just got butterflies in my stomach.
Really?
For whatever reason, I think that you're going to be just fine.
Oh yeah.
I think you actually, because you study theater, I think you have the tools you need to overcome this problem.
Absolutely.
Let's remember what William Shakespeare once said: all the world is a stage, and one man in his life will play many roles. And I think it goes on like, there will be other actors that come and go, whatever. What I'm getting at is, I think maybe this issue might just be you getting in your own head.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just hearing your story, like I said, it seems like all the pieces are there. You like them, they like you, you have common interests, you go to parties together, you've been to their house. Jay, you are an actor. You need to act the role of a really friendly person.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just need to, don't second guess yourself. Just be friendly, be nice, be forthcoming, and, invite people to do stuff. Try to just strike up a conversation. If it fails, don't take it personally. Just be like, hey, no problem. I'm just a friendly guy. I talk to people, I bounce off people.
Don't let the buildup get too much in your head, because I think that's one of my problems.
Yeah, at first it will be challenging, but this is something I've done myself, because taking acting teaches you to assume roles, and it teaches you to, kind of like, you can talk a certain way, you can act a certain way, you can get into the mind space of people that you're not. And so
Yes.
it's a very valuable tool when you think about yourself and you self-reflect and you think about the kind of person you want to be who is different from how you are now. You can basically fake it until you make it.
Right.
You can play the part of a friendly, popular person, and at first it'll be awkward, but after a while it'll start working out for you.
Yeah, you'll start to morph into that person.
Yeah, and then sooner or later it's not an act anymore because you go, holy shit, I've made friends with all these people. Everybody loves me. I was just faking it, but I am faking it no longer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that deep down I was kind of thinking that maybe my problem is definitely that I retreat into my shell a little too much, just reflexively, and I should just realize that, hey, you know what? It's a role. Let's do that.
It's a role, exactly. I'm going to assume you've seen Mega 64, the out in public skits. Let me tell you, man, honestly, for a long time, and even to this day sometimes, I hate going out in public and pranking people. Like, I did not enjoy doing it because as much as I enjoy being funny and being entertaining, I felt rude.
Yeah.
I felt like I'm a fucking asshole. Like, I'm walking up, I'm getting in people's personal spaces, I'm confusing them, I'm fucking with their day. But what I would tell myself is, Derrick, this is your role to play, okay? This isn't you. Whatever they think of this interaction, that's not the real Derrick they're judging. It's this role that you have to play. And I would just kind of detach myself from it and play the part, I would treat it like an acting job.
Yeah.
That may be what you have to do just in this friendship situation. It's going to be uncomfortable. You might feel like, I'm like an asshole just trying to be friends with people, but it's a role, man.
I think people also kind of appreciate somebody like stepping up to that role too.
Yeah.
Because I'm not like really the type of person who's like, hey, like, let's be friends. Let's do this. I kind of wait on other people. But then the times where I do kind of initiate that, people seem to respond positively. So
I think you're going to be okay.
Thank you. That means a lot to hear that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it's just a matter of just going in there with a different mindset. This is who I am. This is what's going to happen. All that stuff.
Give it a shot. It may or may not work out. And either way, that's okay. But you're trying, and eventually you're going to get it.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. Thanks so much. It really means a lot to me.
Absolutely. Thanks for your call.
No problem. Take care.
See ya. Bye. All right, everybody. And now we're going to take an email from somebody who goes by the letter D. And it says, Dear Meg and Derrick, me and my girlfriend have been dating for about 3.5 months. We see each other regularly and usually get along, but she has a tendency to get very angry at me over things that don't seem to be that terrible. For example, being friends with girls, which is hard as I live in a student hall where there are only 4 guys and 40 girls.
oh my God.
Or when I take too long to reply to a text. We don't really argue, though. She just gets very angry with me if I do something that seems normal and says we should break up because I'm too different to her. In response, I just tell her to think about it for a bit, see if that's what she really wants. Then she'll apologize, and I'll anxiously await the next time she gets mad. I don't like arguing since raised voices make me very anxious, which doesn't help when she's shouting at me. So when she's angry, I usually just ask her to calm down and take a breather instead of shouting back. She says she's trying to be better about it, but it doesn't seem that way. I'm not really sure if there's any way it can be helped, but is there any way I should go about talking to her about this issue without coming across as argumentative or risking her wanting to break up? And is it healthy for me to stay in this kind of relationship? D.
No, it's not healthy. Let me start by saying that.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to yell.
That's okay. Meg's passionate about this.
No, I just can't imagine somebody getting so angry to the point of yelling and saying, we should break up because you're so different because you didn't text me back in time.
Listen, you guys have been dating since
For 3.5 months.
November, maybe October, and she is repeatedly yelling at you and threatening to break up with you. You guys are still in the honeymoon phase, which is to say, she's probably being on her best behavior right now.
And that's scary.
And as time goes on and she becomes more comfortable, she's going to lay into you, dude.
Oh my
She's
God.
going to yell at you like a motherfucker.
Like, super props to you for being more mature and saying, hey, calm down for a second.
Yeah, but it is so early in your relationship.
You shouldn't have to say that.
You shouldn't be at this point. And honestly, at any point in your relationship, if your partner is yelling at you constantly and making you feel anxious and knows that they make you feel anxious and they continue to yell at you, at that point, she's a little bit manipulative.
Yeah, and she's doing it over nothing.
Yeah, that's another. The things you mentioned do seem really normal. Here's my advice. I don't think you should stay in this relationship.
No.
I don't know why you started this relationship. Maybe she's really hot. Maybe she was super nice.
I mean,
at
yelling
one
is
point.
not attractive, so that's a strike there.
But you say you live in a student hall with a 10-to-1
Yeah.
girl to guy ratio.
Yeah.
Dude, don't waste your time with this yeller, okay? Get yourself one of them nice girls, one of the 40 girls you live with.
Yeah.
And hey, you're going to be so happy in a relationship where your girlfriend doesn't freak out and yell at you over simple stuff.
Yeah, no, get out.
Yeah, me and Meg both agree. Get out. And also, too, and I want to add this on to anybody else who feels like they're in a situation like this. You need to have a little bit of self-respect, okay? Because your partner is only going to treat you as well as you think you deserve to be treated. Which is to say, if you're okay with having a girlfriend that yells at you like crazy and makes you feel like shit, but you still feel like, well, but I'll still be in the relationship with her, then why would she ever change?
Yeah.
She is being taught and reinforced by you to think, I can yell at my boyfriend when I get pissed off. And
he doesn't do anything.
and-
There's no consequence.
And if I threaten to break up with him, then he'll pay attention to me instead of talking to those bitches that he lives with. And I'm just going to yell at him whenever he pisses me off because it works.
Ugh.
And so you need to let her know, like, no, it doesn't work.
Yeah, you're kind of enabling that behavior.
Yeah, you need to have enough self-respect to say, I'm not going to let myself be treated like this by somebody who says they love me.
Don't open the door to that.
I wouldn't let a stranger on the street yell at me, like that. And then I just call you up the next day like, hey, stranger who yelled at me, what are you doing? So why would you let somebody who supposedly loves you and cares about you treat you like that?
No.
Yeah. So, think about that. And
Respect yourself.
yeah, totally.
Love yourself.
You know what? I can tell you can do better. Just based on your email, I know you can do better.
Yeah.
So that's our advice to you, and good luck. All right, everybody, that's our show for today. We want to thank you for watching, and we especially want to thank everybody who supports us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Mega64. For just $1 a month, you get access to 4 episodes 1 week before everybody else. Heartslayers goes up 1 week early on the Patreon, which gives everybody who accesses it a competitive edge in the relationship world. I also want to thank, I guess just everybody who watches this show. If you have your own take on any of these issues, leave them in the comments below.
Please.
We always read them. I don't always agree with what people say, but I do read them, and I get a kick out of it.
It's good to hear other people's perspectives.
Yeah, we appreciate it. You can follow all the Heartslayers updates on Instagram at Heartslayers, Twitter at Heartslayers. You can call in to our Discord, bit.ly/Heartslayers. You can email us at heartslayers@mega64.com. And you can follow me and Meg personally. I am on Twitter at Gustafo.
And I am at Furnace Woods.
She's also at Furnace Woods on Instagram.
I am.
I am Derrick Acosta only.
Oh, man.
Man, we just plugged so much stuff.
I know.
We'll be back in just 7 days to help everybody out there with their relationship problems. So until then, take care of yourself. We'll see you next time.
Bye.